What did it feel like at the time when that first business didn't work out the way that you wanted it to work out? And did you think that you were gonna start another business again?
No, I didn't think that I would start another business again. In fact, I knew I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, like I said, because my dad was an entrepreneur and going through that with him, I knew that there was a spark in me. I knew that I didn't want to work for a paycheck for the rest of my life. That's one thing that I didn't want. I always wanted financial freedom and to travel the world and to just be different. Okay, so SkinStem is an intimate skincare brand for the vulva area. And first of all, many women are scared to use the words vulva and vagina. So I am trying to, we as a team and my marketing team, we are trying to normalize feminine hygiene and to create that space for women to feel comfortable about their vulva areas. That's the first thing.
Sure. I love also that you bring in that aspect, because I think often, as people who are still employed, which, like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a matter of growing from there. We always want to wait for the perfect time.
There's no perfect time. There's no perfect time. If you have a dream, you need to go and follow it. Write it down in a piece of paper, write your vision down and follow through with it. I kept asking questions, and I think that is the secret to success, is ask questions.
Well, you're not afraid of people saying no?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. I think I don't have the fear of rejection anymore because I know who I am. As a little girl, yes, I did feel rejected, but there was a lot of healing that took place to become who I am right now. So now I'm not afraid of no. No is an answer as well.
That's so good. Shaista, welcome to the Creative Concept.
Thanks for having me.
So let's set the scene.
Okay.
All right, you're a qualified pharmacist. You saw a problem in skincare market that nobody in South Africa was addressing. And instead of waiting for someone to solve it, you formulated products yourself. You built a brand. You won awards. And you got into Take a Lot, Bash, including other retailers. So before we get into how, when did you first realize this gap existed?
Sure. I realized that this gap existed while I was practicing as a full-time retail pharmacist. And I had patients come in and ask me, what can I do for down there, pigmentation, ingrowns? And I was like, wait, there's absolutely nothing on the market, because I was really good at making creams. I used to make creams all the time for patients, and I wouldn't even use measurements. Like I would go with my gut feeling, like if they had a rash or something. And that's how I realized that I'm good at making creams and that there's a gap and that there's nothing out there. And that's how SkinStem was started.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So take me back before SkinStem. What was your world like as a pharmacist? And when did you start feeling like there was something else you were supposed to build?
So my world while being a pharmacist was actually really boring, because I always knew that I was destined for more. I grew up, my dad was an entrepreneur, so I grew up in that environment of building and being different and being innovative. And so I always knew that sitting behind a retail was not me. I did it. It was fulfilling at the time, but I always knew I was destined for more and to do greater and bigger things.
Then how did you end up getting into pharmacy?
Actually, I wanted to be an actor.
Huh?
I did speech and drama in school, and I loved modeling, and I wanted to be on TV, and that was like the dream. But again, family influence, and being a pharmacist was the right thing to do at the time. And I guess I'm glad for the advice that I received from my family, because it's taken me to where I am now. But yeah, that's how I started pharmacy.
That's so interesting. I love how when we want to do something, and even at the time, even though it seems like it didn't work out, I like the fact that it always does work out if you really just follow the journey.
100%.
And I always laugh, I always tell even my guys that when you get a job, you get a role, which means that to some extent you got a job and you had a role. So you were an actor, because when they look for actors, they ask for roles.
That's true. So I thought, like, how could I marry my two passions together? Because I actually didn't realize that I actually enjoyed pharmacy. Like, while studying pharmacy, I was really good at it.
That's so cool.
And then I was like, okay, I'm going to marry the two and just live the best life.
So you identified a gap in intimate skincare, a category that essentially, well, I wouldn't, a category that's maybe not that looked after with regards to creams, etc. So what did you see that nobody else was seeing? And I love the fact that you already were able to have clients come in and you heard a problem. I don't want to influence you, but I think for me, that's what stands out is that you didn't just see or hear about the problem, but you decided to do something about the problem.
Yes. So also when they came to me, it was it was done discreetly. So it wasn't like screaming, oh, I have this. It was like always in the corner, on the side. And like that made me realize that there was a gap of conversations, a gap of speaking about it. Women's self-confidence was affected. And there was just nothing out there where they could actually just go online and purchase something.
Sure, that is so interesting. And I find it interesting in that sense that you took what people were kind of shy to speak about or sometimes use the word taboo.
All right.
So we had coffees magically arrive.
Yay!
We didn't even cut, I promise you guys. but anyways, I was just saying that I love the fact that you looked at something I think that was seen, I'd say taboo, because the fact that people are coming in the corners and I think it's so beautiful that they at least had another female to speak to because I'm guessing if it was a male pharmacist, they're not going to go up and be like, hey, listen, this is a challenge I'm having, either pigmentation, etc. So I think that's the first thing that, one, they found the right person to speak to because you're a woman, you understand. But even so, you are a woman, they still had to come to the side and be like, hey, listen, this is the challenge I'm having, etc., which would mean that this is something that's taboo. Where did you gain the confidence now to say, okay, it's taboo, but I'm going to take this on?
Okay, so first of all, it's part of my personality, being so open. And I think that was also the reason why people came and spoke to me as a pharmacist, because I was very approachable and very open. So they didn't feel like they needed to hold back with anything. And that's really, really important. And in the beginning, it was very difficult because I did not want SkinStem to be a sleazy brand, or I wanted it to be very feminine and aesthetic and appealing. And eventually, like, I just took that move and I just launched SkinStem, and then it just became a thing.
So as a pharmacist, I think you obviously have an advantage because you have the knowledge behind what you're creating. So how much of an advantage was it compared to founders maybe who don't know anything about the industry they're going into?
I think it is an advantage in terms of formulation because you know exactly what works, what ingredients to use, you know a little bit of the background. But starting a business in itself is a learning experience because you don't go into a business knowing everything. You learn as you go, and SkinStem was not my first business. I had another business before which failed. So
take us through that. What was that business?
So that was actually a lingerie line that I decided to do because as a woman, I didn't find anything that appealed to me at an affordable price at that time. Now, this is like prior to COVID, so before 2020. So I actually started that business, failed dismally.
What are some of the learning lessons? Okay, this is my thing. I love to change the idea, and I'm still doing it to myself today, the idea of failure, because in school, obviously it's a system where you get taught something, you obviously try to understand it as best as you can, then you go through tests, then you need to achieve a certain pass mark.
Yeah.
So what it does is that it pre-programs us so that even after school, we always want to get a good pass mark for the things that we need to do. But that also boxes us in because it takes away from the idea of us creating. Hence, I named this the creator concept.
Yeah.
So the relationship with failure, I think for me, is something that I'm still unlearning because I'm understanding that in order for you to grow in business, in order for you to establish a product, a coaching course, whatever it is that you're doing, there has to be elements of, and I don't like the word failing, but you have to fail forward.
Yeah.
Because something not working out is just as, I feel like you learn just as much when something works out And as much as when something doesn't work out.
And that was the story for me, because I had a lingerie line before and I had already spent time and money, and I didn't do my market research. I didn't do the things that I needed to do like properly to run a business. Like, you think running a business is you just start and then you make money and then there's profit, but that's not the case. I had lingerie, wrong sizes for South African women, mind you, because I didn't understand the sizes as well. Sat with stock that I couldn't sell as well, and people have different tastes to what I thought that
Yeah.
what I thought was good looking might not be appealing to someone else. So that was the first business that I did that actually failed. And then I was like, okay, let me stick to what I know, what I am an expert in, and that is making creams, because I loved to do that in retail pharmacy. I just loved it. And then when I found the gap that there was nothing for intimate skincare, I was like, let me just, that's where I need to be. I need to be driving that line, pharmacist-led, pharmacist-formulated, advocate for women as well, help improve women's confidence, and just create a category where there was no category before.
What did it feel like at the time when that first business didn't work out the way that you wanted it to work out? And did you think that you were going to start another business again?
No, I didn't think that I would start another business again. In fact, I knew I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, like I said, because my dad was an entrepreneur, and going through that with him, I knew that there was a spark in me. I knew that I didn't want to work for a paycheck for the rest of my life. That's one thing that I didn't want. I always wanted financial freedom and to travel the world and to just be different. But I didn't think that I would actually start a skincare brand. And like to this day, I have like pinch me moments. Like when I walk into a beauty box or when I see something, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Skin Stem. Or even like when we win the awards, it doesn't feel real.
Sure.
I have to remind myself that it is a brand, that people are buying it. And because I'm still at that point where like it's a baby. Yeah.
I love what you said, when you were speaking about obviously starting a business, and I can attest to that. I've started businesses or side hustles on a hunch, but maybe just because I liked something, I thought that, okay, I'll create it and people will be waiting in line to buy it. And I think sometimes it's not often that your product is bad, but one, we don't do the correct market research, we don't do surveys.
No, we don't.
I'm the person who'll just jump in, I'll make it, and I'll use money, and then I'm like, okay, I'm sure that there's other people who want this solved. But I think more and more I'm learning the idea of waiting lists, creating a wait list, to creating questionnaires or surveys, going to speak to people. Hey, would something like this benefit you? If not, what would you change about it to make sure that it benefits you? So that I don't waste money first, and then over a period of time, I then only realize that, shucks, nobody really wanted this. I just wanted it.
Exactly.
Or I think the other side is that you find that there are people who want it. There are people who want it, but the way we launch is not correct. We automatically expect people to come and buy the things that we've just created, whereas we're not speaking about it, we're not creating the content around it, we're not creating community, etc. And that just fails.
So to share like my history on exactly like what you spoke about, starting Skin Stem was not an easy task, because I had to obviously find production houses. I needed to get things formulated. I needed stability testing. I needed packaging, which I had to get in. And it took a lot out of me while still working a full-time job. And then once I got the stock, I was like, okay, I'm launching it now. And then you think, okay, there's going to be sales and people are going to buy it. But that wasn't the case, because no one was aware of intimate skincare. No one knew what it actually was doing. Yes, I had a few customers come in and ask me those questions, but like no one knew they needed it until they saw it. So it took some time to create conversation, to be seen. And like you think that, okay, I have a website, I'm going to post on social media and I'm going to get sales. No. People need to trust you, the person behind the brand, and actually trust the product as well.
So I just want to take a moment to give a shout out to the sponsor. This episode is brought to you by Creative Replay. That's my team. So here's the truth. Your podcast should be doing more than just existing. It should be building authority, generating leads, and positioning you as the obvious authority in your space. And that's exactly what we build for our clients. We take your expertise, whether it's podcasts, video content, or short form, and we turn it into a system that actually drives business. Strategy, production, and distribution done for you. So if you want to stop guessing and start building, fill out our application in the show notes. It takes about 3 minutes, and we will honestly tell you if we can help you. So click the link below, and let's get back to the episode.
While we're at that, 2 things that I probably should have started with.
Okay.
First one is, please tell the audience, how did we meet? I don't know, do you still remember?
No, tell me.
Okay. The
How
way
did
we
we
met
meet?
through Talia.
Oh, yes. You did my shoot for me.
I think it was actually the launch shoot.
It was a launch shoot.
Of Skin Stem. A friend of ours, Talia, who does amazing photography. I think she told me that, hey, I have this amazing product, Skin Stem. And I think when we met, I was like, listen, I was so inspired because I think the easiest way to inspire me is to get me in front of people that are creating stuff.
Yeah.
And people that you can tell they're figuring this out and they had an idea. The fact that you went through from formulation, because it's not just like a t-shirt.
No.
You had to make formulas. I'm sure it had to be approved by some board, etc. Then packaging and so forth. And I think by the time we met, there was also... No, I remember the pre-production with Annie.
We did a pre-shoot. That was like before the launch.
Yes.
It was like 2 months before the launch. We did some video content and actual footage.
So that's how we met.
That's how we met. Yes, I remember.
And the second part is just take people through. I know people hear skin stem and intimate skincare, and they might not exactly understand down to the actual product. What is skin stem, and how does it benefit women?
Okay, so Skin Stem is an intimate skincare brand for the vulva area. And first of all, many women are scared to use the words vulva and vagina. So I am trying to, we as a team and my marketing team, we are trying to normalize feminine hygiene and to create that space for women to feel comfortable about their vulva areas. That's the first thing. So when women wax or shave, they get dryness and pigmentation, ingrown hairs. So there was nothing that was cute that they could put in their shower and use like a little self-care for down there as they would with a facial. And that's how Skin Stem was formed. So basically it's for looking after yourself and your feminine hygiene needs.
What was this a common conversation in your home or in the community that you come from?
No one spoke to me about this. And I actually tested the products on myself because I was like, okay, I also have that problem. I didn't realize I had that problem until women were speaking to me about it. It's true. Like, then only did I really look at myself. I'm like, okay, yeah, I also have dark marks because waxing and shaving causes inflammation of the skin, which is trauma, which then causes hyperpigmentation. And there was nothing there for women of color that get the hyperpigmentation. And so that's how Skin Stem was born,
I'm always so taken aback about the idea of listening to the people that you're having conversations with. I mean, this could be at your workplace, this could be at dinner, this could be at you, whatever your expertise are and whatever it is that you're doing, just seeing the gaps.
Yeah.
But also, taking it a step forward. I think that's so interesting. And it really is taboo. If you also saying that,
taboo.
In your home or maybe in your community or your friends at school, that they at least say, hey, my mom had this conversation with me.
No.
This is the routine that you do, etc.
I grew up in a strict Indian home. We did not have those conversations. So I think this is why doing podcasts like this is really important.
Sure. I can only imagine how many women have not had these type of conversations, because I think also the stigma is that these conversations are pretty much just related to sex.
Yes.
But this is not about that. This is just about intimate and personal care. This is just like how your parents teach you, this is what you call soap. And then this is what you call whatever, a scrub or a towel. Different people use different things. And this is how you use it. And this is how you stay clean. I would say that this conversation belongs right in there. Besides taking it there. Because I think that's what makes it taboo, is that automatically, I don't know, maybe parents feel like, I can't speak about this because of the age. And
no, I think they normalized it. They normalized not having a routine for down there. So Skin Stem is here to unnormalize the conventional thinking of women, that you can actually look after yourself down there.
How did you manage the idea of or maybe should I say, so I always believe that everybody is an entrepreneur. I know it sounds weird, but that's my personal belief.
Okay.
Why? Because even if you in a 9 to 5, to some extent, you're a business within the business.
I disagree with you.
You do. It's cool. You can share
I don't
that.
think that everyone is an entrepreneur. I think you either have what it takes or you don't, because it's to be an entrepreneur. And while I'm learning in this, it takes a lot of gut. It takes a lot of determination. It takes
True.
a lot of canceling the noise around you, because failure will be at your doorstep. It's how you pivot and grow and impact other people and build a team. So it's either you are a leader or you are a follower. It's one of the things, and you choose who you want to be. And you can become an entrepreneur based on your surroundings and the people that are around you. Like, I was influenced by my family, I'm influenced by my friends, by my network, by the people I surround myself with. I'm always around inspiring people, and that helps me to go in that entrepreneurship direction, if that makes sense.
No, it does make sense.
Yeah.
I agree with you in that
Yeah.
sense. But this is where my philosophy maybe
Okay.
differs. It's in the sense that I believe that everybody is a business owner or an entrepreneur, but really based on your mindset. And
Yes.
if you do come around it. Why am I saying that? I believe that if, let's say, you're 9 to 5 and you're employed, to some extent, you're coming into the business to service the business with the skill that you have. So I have Sam. Sam is here with us. He's a videographer and an editor in our team. That's something that I used to do more majorly within the business. So he is a business that came into the business that says, hey, these are my services. They're available from 9 to 5 or from 6 a.m. for early shoot days till 8 p.m. And for what I do, this is the remuneration. The more his business grows, which means that the more his skill grows, the more his income should grow also. So that's how I look at it, that everybody is a business. And then the quadrant, I might get it wrong. I think that Robert Kiyosaki also teaches is that it's a quadrant. How it starts is you're first employed. Then from employment, you go into self-employment, which means that you start a business,
Yeah.
but you're probably still the main person.
Yeah.
And then you go from there, from business owner, and from business, you go to investor. I think that different forms of business ownership grow as you now start saying that, okay, now I'm at a place where I can maybe fully come out and start my own business. Then from starting your own business, then you start building a team.
Yeah.
Then from a team, you have a business, then you go into investing.
I only got a team after 2 years of running SkinStem. So for the first 2 years, I was doing everything by myself. From
Walk
packing
us
on-
through that. What does that look like?
So that includes still having a full-time job. So that includes working in a pharmacy. It includes coming back home, includes packing orders, customer service, posting on social media, trying to do PR, trying to get your brand into stores, which was very difficult, by the way, because no one wanted to keep feminine hygiene care products. Beauty Box and Foschini were the first retail group to actually approach me to keep SkinStem on their shelves, because they saw that it was a demand and it needed to be out there, basically. So that was like my day. It was having a full-time job and then coming home and pushing through for the love of my life, which is SkinStem. So, yeah.
Sure. I love also that you bring in that aspect, because I think often, as people who are still employed, which, like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a matter of growing from there. We always want to wait for the perfect time.
There's no perfect time.
You always want to wait.
There's no perfect time. If you have a dream, you need to go and follow it. Write it down in a piece of paper. Write your vision down and follow through with it. I think you also need to be very accountable to yourself.
good, yeah.
And have check-ins with yourself. Like, did I reach my goal? What am I doing to get closer to my goal as well? Because a lot of people just say they want to be entrepreneurs. They say they want to have a business, but they don't actually follow through with it.
So maybe let's take it back a bit.
Okay.
Practically take us through this. Okay, now you've come to the acceptance that, okay, I need to start this brand.
Okay.
What were those early days like? What did you know you have to go through? What did you know you have to source, etc.? What did that look like?
So the first thing that I did was I wrote down my vision, and I wrote down my problems, or what problem did I want to solve. And then from there, I found the products that I wanted to do. I did market research. I found a name. I registered the company. I looked online at the competitors overseas. I sourced packaging. I sourced R&D labs here. I had to find out the cost as well, because now I'm using my savings as well. How can I afford this? So it took 2 years to start SkinStem before it actually came onto the market.
So this is the behind the scenes
This
work.
is the behind the scenes was 2 years before you and I met and did the production shoot.
Oh my word.
Yeah. And no
Okay.
one tells you about the minimum order quantities and the investment amounts. And so I basically took a huge risk on myself because I believed in myself and the vision.
So you went through countless testings,
Yes.
formulating. What does it actually mean in practice? Like, what were you testing? How were you iterating? And how did you know when your product was ready?
So when you start a skincare brand or anything that has to go on your body, it has to go through stability testing and testing for that there's no allergies as well, and also that your product is now safe in the packaging as well. So packaging quality is also really important. It's also important where you source your ingredients, the cost as well, to bring everything, and what is going to be your final selling price. And then also, is it going to be a good price for the customer to buy as well? So that is the whole process of countless testing, because you also want good ingredients that are effective, that is going to work, and that customers would love.
Those first few months of launch, what was that like? Because I think you were just online, right?
It was difficult. I think I was overly excited about, I'm finally gonna like launch this now and it's out there. And in the first month, I think I only had like 3 or 4 sales.
How much quantity did you have?
We had like 1,000 units of each. Now there's 3 products, so we had 1,000 units of each, because like I said, no one tells you the minimum order quantity. They fill in big batches. You're not filling small batches at a time if it's done properly, because SkinStem was not made in a kitchen. It was made in a proper facility. That's what I wanted. I wanted good quality products. And so I had like 3 or 4 in November. December was also dismally low, and then that's when I realized that marketing is very important in any business.
I want to set the scene. So you have 3,000 units.
Yes, in my house, by the way. This is where I work, from my house.
And then you only make 3 to 4 sales.
Yes,
I think that's enough for somebody to quit or give up.
I agree. But there was just something pushing me. It was my support system. It was the belief in myself. Like, I knew that I spent all this money. I couldn't just leave my money lying in the dining room table. I had to do something about it.
And plus, I'm sure this also has expiration dates.
Yes.
So it can't just be chilling there for
No.
a certain period of time.
No,
It
like
has-
that's like when you come home from work, I'm like busy messaging salons. I'm trying to find buyers. I am looking for social media people to run my social media, PR agencies.
Sure.
It was work after work.
And I think sometimes we're oblivious to the fact that some of us might have to do that. Some of us might have to be working and then, service our gifts or products or whatever it is that we have to do after work. And it's a reality that we have to live with, which means that for a season, there is times where you are going to sleep at 12, 1 a.m. But I think, the whole soft life term has been coined and everybody wants a soft life. But I like the statement that says overnight success doesn't happen overnight.
No, it doesn't.
It takes a long time for you to get overnight success.
It's a journey. Like, even us winning the beauty awards, like, I didn't think that we would. It wasn't a thing for me. It wasn't a thing for me to be in retail. Or even just inspiring so many women, and the confidence and the feedback that I get from them when they purchase. And then when I see repeat customers coming back, then I'm like, okay, now we're talking.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
What kept you going in the times that your sales were that low? And then when was a month where you felt like, okay, this is taking a turn. I can see this growing.
So my faith kept me going, and it still keeps me going when things are not going as smoothly as I wanted to. But things changed for me when I started getting a team, because you can't build a business by yourself. And it changed for me when I started asking for help and speaking to other entrepreneurs and networking and taking that discovery call and just learning as well. That's when things turned up for me.
How did that feel compared to the 3 or 4 sales?
Amazing. It felt like it's actually growing and we're getting somewhere. So, yeah.
I actually didn't know that. I didn't know that the first 2. No, I don't know. Did we talk about it? I'm trying to think.
No, we didn't. Like, I don't think everyone always talks about the good things, but they don't talk about like the lows of a business and the starting points. And yeah, I have my parents helping me pack as well. Sometimes when it gets like really, really busy, we all chip in.
So now getting to the point where you have people like Take a Lot, Bash, I feel like that's a milestone, for most founders to have those opportunities to be with them. How did that happen? And did they come to you? Did you go to them? What was the process?
So it's very difficult when you don't know people in the industry. And that's one of the things. Some brands grow faster because of their networking and who they know. For me, it was a different case because it was my first time and I didn't know anyone. So I basically cold called. So I would go to different retailer houses and I'll drop off PR boxes, send cold emails, reach out to people.
What's a PR box for those who don't know?
For example, just a full V kit.
Okay.
Up of our products, and I'll be like, please can you give this to your beauty buyer? And they try the products. I send them a pitch deck. I pitch on Teams. And then, so Bash was a big win for me. I didn't expect that. And they've just been the best to work with.
And I love that even though you've created the product has been in existence, you had to go and pitch. You had to go and call. You had to go and, speak about your business. Were you not nervous in those times?
No one believes in a business like an owner. And I'm still pitching to this day.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're still pitching?
Still pitching. Not giving up.
I love
Skin
it.
stamp to the nations.
So I know we spoke about only 3 sales, but what's something that went wrong in your journey where you were like, okay, this is a challenge and we need to find a way to overcome it?
Expiry dates. That was the first challenge. I had all this product. I had no sales. Oh, okay, I wouldn't say no sales, but it wasn't as fast. Like, there was no sell-through plan. I had no plan. So every year every month that I'm building Skin Stamp, I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly building my character and pivoting and seeing what else I can do. So it dawned on me and I was like, oh my God, I got a year until my one product expires. What am I going to do? Started having sales, started, trying to see how I can push the product, basically. Give out samples, reach out to people. So that was the biggest lesson because I was so in my element about Skin Stamp that I forgot that everything has an expiry date.
That is so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because obviously you're juggling a lot of things. And as a founder, I think that's one thing you were right about is that I think this is one of the most growing journeys, but it is a challenging journey.
Yep.
Because to some extent, you need to know a lot, or a little of every part of the business. You need to know sales, you need to know marketing, you need to know communication, you need to know how to pitch, you need to know SKUs, you need to know expiry dates.
Yes.
You need to. So I always say, like, entrepreneurs, you could swear that they have split personalities because
no, we do.
There's so much happening in the brain.
And I didn't know much. I would actually DM other entrepreneurs on Instagram and ask them, what is this? What is that? I just got into Bash. Can you assist me? Where do I get this printed from?
Did you get some that were collaborative and on-set and some that didn't?
Yes. The people that I approached were all genuine and they all helped me to the best of their ability. But I kept asking questions. And I think that is the secret to success is ask questions.
Well, you're not afraid of people saying no?
No.
No?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. I think I don't have the fear of rejection anymore because I know who I am. As a little girl, yes, I did feel rejected, but there was a lot of healing that took place to become who I am right now. So now I'm not afraid of no. No is an answer as well.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I could personally say, like, it took me time to get over the idea of getting used to people, like parenting, and or maybe not just parenting, just the way you grow up. You realize it plays such a big role as you now start your life. I'd say from mid high school going onwards, it plays such a big role because you realize that there's so many things or so much programming that you get from your growing up that starts to affect when it's time for you to build.
Yeah.
Whether it's business, marriage, relationships, friendships, even. So it took me a journey to get over the idea of no, because, sometimes you take it personally because you think that they're rejecting you. But all it is that the person is maybe just no.
But also, maybe it's not your time yet. Maybe there's a lot of self-development that you need to do before you can get to that place. Because if you are granted that opportunity, are you able to achieve the best that you can? If I got into retail in year 1, I guarantee you I would not have made it.
Sure.
Because there was a lot of things that I didn't know. I didn't know merchandising. I didn't know how to do activations or just like little things to get your brand visible. Because being in retail is one thing, but it's selling through retail is another thing.
Maybe take us through that. What does that mean?
It means that my skin stamp can be on the shelf, but the product needs to be sold. So I need to get people into the store to buy the product. So it's one thing to say, yes, I'm in Beauty Box, I'm in Fushini. It's there, you can go buy it, but I need to get the people there. So to drive sales into that department.
So you're building a brand in a space where the conversation itself is uncomfortable for many. How do you market a product that addresses something that women are often embarrassed to talk about?
How do I market a product? I think I'm doing a good job, eh?
I think you are.
I know.
But how do you market?
I think
for example, I just love the video you showed me of you, a guy touching the V cream and speaking and trying to guess what it's for. But how are you breaking that barrier? How are you?
I always told my team that I want Skin Stamp to be lighthearted and to be a humorous brand as well. I think that's the key to breaking a stereotype and to breaking a taboo is humor. So not keeping it too serious and too factual based, but like, let's start the conversation. And I think that was one of the keys of growing the Skin Stamp platform as well, is that we were relatable to what people were thinking, but not actually saying.
Sure. I feel that is so cool, and that I see it in the content that you're having, but also I see it in some of the UGC creators that you work with, in terms of how they incorporate the product into their daily lives,
Yes.
into their routine, and I think that's opening up the conversation. And what is some of the feedback you've seen in terms of people that were maybe not so open to it, but you can just start feeling that, okay, these people are opening up?
I see it from the repeat sales. And I see it from the reviews that we get and from also the personal messages. So as a founder, what I do on my side as well is that I also send them personal messages after they purchase the product from me. And then I get in contact with them to make sure that they're using it correctly. And, what is their feedback and how can I improve as well? What are their thoughts? And so that's, yeah.
And do people actually, I'm sure, you know what? Being at the stage that you're at, I think is so beautiful, but also the intentionality that you have. The fact that you are texting clients and appreciating them for taking, I'd say, a good risk with you, but also asking for feedback.
Yeah.
And I think as entrepreneurs, we really, or as creators, anything that you're creating, it is good to have feedback. I love feedback.
No, and sometimes bad feedback is good feedback as well. Like, then you get to know where you can improve. Like right now, my customers want bigger packaging because they want more product. So now I'm like re-looking at my packaging, like what I can do to improve as well.
That is so good. And it's so beautiful because then you get to iterate on the journey, because I think it's more expensive to iterate when the brand is now at such scale.
Yeah.
Because then there's so many moving parts to do so. But as founders, and when you're creating something, being able to ask for that feedback immediately means that you actually get to save on a lot of future costly mistakes or costly iterations
Yeah.
simply because you just didn't ask.
I just didn't ask, exactly. And sometimes customers don't use the products correctly, and then they give me a bad review. So I message them and I'm like, did you use the products correctly? Tell me your process. What were you suffering from? And then they're like, oh, I didn't use it in that way. Okay, I'm going to try now. So
That is so cool. A lot of people take it personally when people leave bad reviews.
in the beginning, I did take it very personally. But now I'm like, okay, I'm okay with it. Like, let me give you a call. Let's discuss.
What is that shift? Because you something must change within you to be able to take that criticism and not take it personally. And now, what changed? What happened?
I think because I know that SkinStem is a good brand, and I believe in the brand as well. And I think it was a lot of personal growth as well. Like, I didn't take everything I wasn't sensitive. I hear you. I hear what you're saying, but let me help you. Let's see how we can improve. Yeah. I think also change in mentality and your mindset. Instead of dwelling on the problem, let's fix it.
Sure. That's so good. So you call yourself a beautypreneur. That's a specific identity. How intentional was that positioning, and how has it shaped how people see you and your brand?
I call myself that.
Yes.
I do?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's amazing. See, like those words, like I still can't believe it. Calling myself a beautypreneur, like it's amazing. I hope I get to do more with that title and bring out more products and really shape the space for feminine hygiene in this country. And in fact, my dream is for the whole of Africa as well, like to really push the products to other nations.
And even though obviously there's the word beautypreneur, I also understand that that's not who you are.
No.
You know, you have a much deeper identity. Can you tell us more about that and how it plays into the journey that you're on in terms of what you're building?
Like who I am.
Yeah. Who you are, whose you are, how you see yourself, your faith.
So I am a very confident woman, and I have very strong core faith values. And I would love to allow other women to feel what I'm feeling, to feel confident in their skin, and to be bold and to take chances on themselves, because my story is that I took a chance on myself. And it doesn't matter your circumstances or where you are in life. Take that risk and take a chance and start now. So that is basically who I am. I hope that when I meet people, that they leave me feeling that they have something that I poured into their cup. That they've walked away feeling good about themselves. So yeah.
So you're not just selling a product; you're changing conversations. Intimate skincare was taboo. You made it as a category. How have you seen the culture shift since you started, and a woman talking about it differently now?
Not as much as I hope that they would talk about it. They're still talking about it, but I feel like there's a long way to go before it becomes a normal conversation. In the international market, it's spoken about a lot, but in our space, it's still not as loud as I would like it to be, but we are growing, and I think we will get there.
You told me about a story that you had once, I think, in the pharmacy that you're working at, that prompted you to take this direction. I don't know if you remember. That prompted you to start SkinStem.
Yeah, it was the customers asking me questions all the time.
There was another one. I think it was with the either your manager or the boss at the time or something like that.
Oh yes, because I was working in COVID time, so I was like burnt out. And like I said, I didn't see myself earning a paycheck every month. So then I just started SkinStem, like I wanted an out.
That's so interesting. What are some of did you ever have moments of doubt? And how did you deal with that?
I still have moments of doubt. I still this week itself has been a very, very challenging week where I'm like, what am I doing? Can I actually do this? But I have such an amazing team now. Like I actually realized that I need to let go, because as a founder, you want to do everything. You want your hands in the email marketing. You want your hands in the content creation. You want your hands everywhere. But I need to focus on what I need to do and let the people in my team do what they need to do.
That's so good.
So that's what I learned this week, is letting go. because we want to do everything.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
If someone is listening and has expertise in a field, they could be a pharmacist, they could be a nutritionist, an engineer, and they can see a gap in the market. What are the 3 things they should do first before building a product?
Pray is the first thing that you need to do, because if God is not in your story, it will nothing will come out of it. He needs to be the first.
That's good.
The next thing I would tell them to do is to have a plan, do their homework, and the third thing is that they would need to make sure that they have enough belief in themselves, because this walk as an entrepreneur can be very crushing. And if you do not know who you are, you would not be able to build a business.
That's so true. You really have to believe in yourself,
Yeah.
because I think even after you create the plan, it doesn't mean that everything will work out according to the plan.
No.
But
You need to trust the process, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
I love what Vusi says. He says this thing of building a business plan and then trying to build a business based on that, it doesn't always work.
No.
Because most of the time, what happens on the field is very different. Because when we create business plans, it's the best case scenario. Even though we do a SWOT analysis, etc., it's like we're optimistic. It's like,
But what I mean by planning is like, look at your finances, look at where you are. Are you married? Do you have children? Do you have a full-time job? Is there something where you can lean back if this doesn't work? What is the risk? That's what I mean by planning. Like, look at your whole life holistically. I could take that chance because I'm not married and I don't have children, and I could just bank on myself. But if I was, and there were other people dependent on me, I would need to have that conversation with my family.
That's good.
And then see and explain to them, this is my idea, this is what I want to do, so that everyone is on the same page.
hey, look at you talking like a married woman.
Someday.
Wedding bells soon.
Yes.
So what would you say is next for SkinStem, and where are you taking the brand?
So SkinStem, we are definitely expanding the range. We are building more products into feminine hygiene. I definitely want to increase the conversation behind intimate skincare, and I also want to make it more enjoyable as well. I'm also looking at cost price as well, because I want it to be affordable, that every South African can put it into their cart. So that's very important for me, is the price point. So SkinStem is definitely expanding. We are going into the wellness range. We are just want to make women feel good about themselves.
This is one of, my favorite questions. This is before we get into, we have a rapid fire segment. Shaista, so what does it mean to you when I say empty your cup?
To empty my cup.
Yeah.
It means to pour myself out, everything that I have out.
Anything more?
No, but like, why would you ask me that?
Because I ask every guest.
Empty my cup.
Yeah, what does that mean to you? Like,
I don't want to empty my cup though.
Why?
Because I like my cup full.
Okay, that's an interesting take. I like that.
Yeah, I don't want to empty my cup. Like, I cannot be an empty cup and be in the position that I am. I feel like an empty cup means that I have no depth, no meaning, no values. I'm sad, or I've lost everything. No. I cannot have an empty cup.
You know what? I'll be honest. I love your perspective. It's not what it means, but I love. No. Listen.
Okay.
I love what you said, that you want your cup full.
I want my cup full. Like,
Because then it's the other side. So my perspective of emptying your cup is doing on earth what the Creator has sent you to do.
okay.
So that when you get back, God is like, "Hey, well done, my good and faithful servant."
Okay,
Because
but in
you
that,
were able, because you're able to pour out everything.
but
that
as
I've
you
done
pouring
for
out,
you.
He pours in.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I love that perspective. That
Yeah.
as you pour out, you find fulfillment. You grow from that.
Yeah.
You enjoy life through that, and you get to leave here, well, with a full cup.
With a full cup.
So I love that. I
yes.
love it.
I
love
want
the
to be a
perspective.
full cup.
I love that perspective. We're going to rapid fire. I
Okay.
love rapid fire.
Okay.
Rapid fire is that I'm just asking you 5 questions, and keen to hear your perspective on these. Okay. So first question is, what's one belief you held about success that turned out to be completely wrong?
That success is lonely. It is not lonely. Success is having a good team around you. It is just the small wins. Yeah.
I love that. Second one, what is the one skill you think every person should learn that most people ignore?
The one skill, they need to know who they are and their mindset. So they need to do the self-work.
Why?
I think if you don't know who you are and what you're good at and what do you want, it's going to be very difficult for you to grow as a person or to impact other people.
Sure, that's true. Third question.
Self-reflection, that's the skill. Self-reflection.
If you had to start over tomorrow, no followers, no reputation, no money, what's the first thing you'd do?
Go into ministry. Honestly, that's what I would do.
Yes.
I would go into ministry.
Okay, if you had to start over and build Skin Stem again, what's the first thing you'd do?
If I had to build Skin Stem again, what would I do? I don't think I would do anything differently.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would your 20-year-old self not believe about your life today?
That I started a business. That I started a whole category. That I'm actually doing what I love. Like, even though I became a pharmacist, which wasn't my passion in the beginning, but I get to bring my dramatic arts into it and somehow marry the two.
That is so good. I love that. So, complete the sentence. Everyone is designed to create because...
Everyone is designed to create because creation is amazing.
That's good.
I don't know. No question.
I love that. So that's our rapid fire. But what do you think, what would you say is just one thing you want to leave the audience of the Creator Concept who have joined us for this episode, for the journeys that they are on and for the things that they are building?
I think that I would leave behind that being creative is a process and you can always build on something. If one model doesn't work, there's different things that you can do. There's many ways to build a business. My path may not be your path. Everyone's path is different. But ask questions, meet the right people, network, learn every day. And a failure does not mean that your business isn't going to work. It just means that there's another way around it.
That's so good.
Believe in yourself, believe in your vision, build a team. You really need a good team. Know when to pull back, know when to draw in, look for opportunities. Opportunities are never given to you. You really have to know how to pitch, knock on those doors, send the messages on Instagram, on LinkedIn. That's what I would tell them, is to really put the effort to get the reward at the end.
That was so good. I love the idea of team. What did they say? If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with people.
That's what happened with Skin Stem. The moment I hired a team and have people with different duties, things just elevated.
Sure.
There's only so much that I can do in a day, but I have to have a team that I trust and that a team that understands my vision. So I have people in my team now that love Skin Stem as much as I do.
Sure.
And they feel like family. And I think that's really important because you can't build a business without people. People make a business.
That's true. That's so good. And I think another thing that really stood out to me about this episode is the concept of asking.
Yes.
I know it sounds so simple, but I think maybe I'd speak about myself that sometimes you get so in your head about just simply asking. Well, because we all know that sometimes receiving a no is hard, but the sooner you get over the fact that people aren't rejecting you as a person, people are either just busy or it's just a no.
Or they just, exactly. And it's okay to have a no.
But it's getting to the place where you accept that it's okay to have a no. And I think just by asking, the worst thing that could happen is a no. And I think once you really, I know it sounds simple, but once you really grasp the concept of that's the worst thing, because nothing above the no can happen.
No. So if I tell you a little backstory, is that I was knocking on the doors of Clicks. I really wanted to go into Clicks. And I met the beauty buyer. I found different emails because I had no contacts. And I met the beauty buyer, and she wanted to keep SkinStem, but she wanted full exclusivity. And I didn't want that for my brand at that point, because that means that I can't sell anywhere else.
Sure.
But in that moment, I left that meeting and I was like, okay, that's not a no. That's like, I'm going to turn this around. That's when I went to the TFG group, and I just left my product there. That's all I did. I said, please give this to your beauty buyers. The next Monday, I come back to Durban. I'm in Beauty Box, and I'm in Fashini. So as that was a no for clicks, but it opened a door to something else. Because I just asked a question. I said, please, can you give this?
So you didn't have a meeting with anybody. You just walked in, you took your product in, and you said,
I took my product in.
This is what I have.
Yes.
Listen, I love that.
And that's when I say I'm still pitching to this day, because I see SkinStem going into different African countries, and people are still taboo with this idea of even keeping it in salons. So every day is a different day, and every day is a new experience.
You can say that again. Every day is a different day, and every day is a new experience. We're going to have that on a T-shirt. We'll give you the royalties. It might just be on a SkinStem T-shirt. But thank you so much. Thank you for accepting the invite. Thank you for being a part of our Creative Concept family. You're already part of the Creative Replay family, and you're a great part of my family for the amazing work that we're doing. But I'm honestly really inspired by your journey. I really am. I love what you're doing. I love what you stand for. And I think it's a privilege to get to know somebody who's building something and you watch it to grow. I think it's a privilege that not many get to see and not many get to receive. And for us, just being in contact, having conversations and growing together, I think is absolutely beautiful. And thank you for having me to be part of your journey.
Businesses can only grow as much as you water it. So if you don't water your business, you're not going to reap the fruit of it.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay.
Shaista, Sophia, thank you.